What's going on, everyone? This is Sheets, and we're going to be doing our lineup construction video for UFC. It's 315, 316. I lose track of all the numbers. And we're going to be completely focused on how to build for the, I guess it's called a special or the throwdown or whatever, the 150 max that's going to be paying, hopefully, 200,000 first or whatever. Hopefully, it pays a lot for first to the winner. Hopefully we can find a way to get unique enough with lineups that have a chance to actually win and not have to rely on, duping with like 25, 30 people. And unfortunately, again, what I've decided is that rather than, and this is probably bad process, but rather than build and then see, okay, which are the best lineups with the best ROI, regardless of how many times they're duped, I want to just kind of force in an amount that I kind of want to win. Like I literally, even if like a lineup was 40, was projecting to be even great EV, even with 40 dupes, I just don't want it. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing the screen at the end to maximize dupes to some arbitrary amount, which is going to be today 10. And there's or 9. And there's no reason for that. There's no mathematical reason for why this week should be 9 or for whatever. I will say that if it was a full 14 fight card, I would say that it would be easy to, maximize dupes at 4. But because it's 12 fights and because there are 2 5-round fights, I think it's just too greedy to go for like 0 dupes or anything like that. So I think 9 dupes is already probably too aggressive of a target, but we're going to try it anyway. Let's go over for a minute what the kind of best plays are, just for a second. Now, again, both 5-round fights are going to project very well. But I will say that they don't have to smash. I mean, there are variations where both fights bust. One thing about the Valentina fight is that both fighters are incredibly good defensively. So, I mean, it's very possible that that fight ends up not what people think. It's very possible it ends up 5 rounds of not too much action, and whoever wins ends up not scoring too much. Even Valentina, the narrative going around is that, oh, Valentina wins, she's always going to smash, but that's not exactly true. I mean, it's true that she's likely to smash, but relative to her price, but it's not like she's 7K like Marab was a couple of times. And it's not like she rates to just dominate in her wins here against Fiorot. I mean, it's very possible that this fight is uglier than people think. So I'm not going to be worried if I lock in, if I don't lock her in, for example. In addition to that, the Muhammad fight, I don't think is as big of a smash for Muhammad if he wins. He did come straight out and say he's going to strike. Now, nobody believes him, but I'll just say this, that if he does in fact do that, and he does in fact win with striking and does not make the optimal, no one's allowed to complain because he did come straight out and say this. Okay. That's one thing. Second thing is there are 2 money line values here that I think are going to show up in optimals, and that would be Jung Young Lee at 7,900 and Charles Radke. That's, what is he, 7,200 or something like that. Both those have very, very good line value, and specifically the Radke play has good finishing upside also. So that's going to show up as a very, very strong play, I believe. He's only showing up at 25% ownership, but that's all these guys really get nowadays with those kind of good underdog plays, about 25%. And Young Lee about 25% or whatever. The other thing about this card is that there's no fight, in my opinion, that is just a complete clown fiesta, meaning that we know someone's going to smash, we just don't know who it is. I don't think there's any fight like that. I think that all these fights could either smash or bust. I don't think that there's any fight which is like guaranteed to score, but we just don't know who's on it. And the reason why that's important is because in those types of cards, like let's say you have Dober versus whatever that guy's name was, they were both 8,100, and you knew someone was getting knocked out in the first round, you just didn't know who it was. those types of matchups, Saber Sim and Sims don't really do a great job with, um, for reasons that I described many times. And Optimizers do a terrible job with that. Um, but so in those types of cards, I have to manually, get exposures to those fights. But on cards like this, where it's kind of just your normal distribution of results, I think Sims do a really, really good job of this. So what we're going to do is we're just going to essentially just rely on the Sims to build our lineups for us today. But again, the Sims are only going to build based on the inputs that we put in. So I want to just go over, what I decided as far as projections and ownership goes, because to be honest, some of these sites are out of their minds with some of these projections and these ownerships. So I had to do a lot of these manually. Like I'm looking at SaberSim now, they might change them. SaberSim right now has Benoit Saint Denis at 21% ownership. That's a complete pipe dream. He's gonna be at 50, and there's others like it, and these are all, probably they'll all change their projections throughout the course of the day, but I'm more confident in my own. And what that's going to do is that's going to actually determine what the contest field is going to be that I'm going to play, that I'm going to create to sim against. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. This is the process for today. We're going to go through the projections, make sure they're cool, go through the ownerships, make sure they're cool. Then we're going to sim, and then what we're going to do is then we're just going to manually take out lineups that have less than 9 dupes. And the way we're going to um, determine that is a combination of using the SaberSim kind of download file that will predict those dupes that way. And then what we'll do is after we get rid of those, because that's usually pretty conservative. Like when they say something's going to be 12 dupes, it's usually 30. Not usually, but they do it probably, I'll say lousy, but they underestimate dupes still. They do better, but than they did last year, but still underestimating dupes. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put all those lineups that remain into the portfolio manager tool from Paydirt. And he uses his own formula based on the inputs that we put in to predict dupes as well. So we're going to, and I think he does a better job than SaberSim with that. I mean, it's not perfect, but certainly better. And I think that's going to be enough. I mean, we could do just a straight geo mean filter as well, but I don't think we're going to need to. So we're going to we're going to sim just against the throwdown for the purposes of this video. Then we're going to, after we confirm all of our projections, then we're going to go through the SaberSim spreadsheet, and then we're going to go through and do it with Portfolio Manager, and then we'll be done. Okay. Let's take a look at these guys first of all. By projection, Saint-Denis just has to be the top projected guy from a median perspective because he wins just more often than all these other guys. And I think 96 is I think it's a pretty reasonable median. Muhammad's got to be next just because of all those ceilings where he does in fact go for the takedowns. This is fine. I do like Jasmine being higher than Valentina, for example, just because she wins that much more often. And I do like her higher than Sterling because of her grappling upside. Sterling over Fiero, that might be a little fishy, but I think that's okay. And then Silva and Malat. That's a little surprising. I would think Malat would be, maybe I'd bump him up a little bit. Okay. Or at least Silva down a little bit, right? Silva does have a better money line, but she doesn't win. She doesn't score all that well. Okay, I think this is okay. Just because Silva wins more often, we'll leave that there. This looks fine. Kutalaba looks fine. Burial, definitely better than Silva. That looks fine. Maybe Silva and Barrio should be a little bit closer. Maybe we'll bump Silva up just a little bit. Just again, not a big deal, but maybe. And even Katona up a little bit just because of. See, Silva has more finishing upside than Katona, but Katona has more grappling upside. Let's move them both up a little bit. Let's move Katona up to safe. Yeah, we'll move just up to 55. Nothing really. And we'll keep Silva, we'll put him a little bit higher, a little bit closer to Barrio. Okay, that makes sense. Bukakis doesn't score all that well. Radke, boy, this looks low. considering his upside, we're gonna have to. He's gonna be owned too. Let's move him up just a little bit. Again, this is not gonna affect too much, I don't think. I think that Andrade deserves to be significantly below Radke. Uh, Winning chances. Zahabi, Aldo are both going to project very low, I presume. Yeah, Aldo at 60, Zahabi 43. Oh, I don't know about that. We'll make these guys a little bit closer, I guess. We'll put Zahabi at 46 and Aldo down to 50. Yeah, we can't put Aldo only 4 points below Metalena. Actually, we could. Yeah, let's reduce Aldo a little bit more. Del Maddalena instead of Barrio. Again, it's just because of the win odds. He's a plus 170 underdog. That's just the problem here. And even in his wins, he's not guaranteed to score all that well. I still think we got to move him up a little bit, right? We don't want to put him the same as Shevchenko, but I think we have to put him up a little bit more. I think we have to give him like 67. So that'll be fine. And then Radke, Zahabi, Andrade, and Grasso just doesn't win all too often. But I still think that Grasso should probably be on par with Andrade, no? Yeah, I think so. So we'll give Grasso a little bit more. And then Urslan, I want to give him a little bit of a bump here as well. To be pretty similar to Andrade, I guess. That's fair. And we're not going to end up with any Kyle anyway. Ownerships, yep, Santini, Muhammad. Let's sort by ownership. Muhammad, main event fighters, right? This is it, you know. And then Kutalaba, I think he's going to be popular in this range. I like all of these actually. Okay. So now we're good. So what we're going to do is we're going to build our 5,000 lineups, and the important thing is that in the contest fields, we are going to use our ownerships, okay, to whatchamacallit, to calculate the field. So it says sheets. We're not gonna. I'm still not sure what I want to do with the big binds, but for now we're just going to use all of these, and then we'll just go ahead and build here, right? Oh wait, where'd it go? Where'd my projections go? Here, right? Okay. So let's build the 5,000 just like this. No rules, no nothing. We don't even really need to do a minimum salary, honestly. We're certainly not going to do a maximum salary, but let's just go ahead and do this. So we're going to build 5,000 lineups. And I think it's set actually to automatically run the Sims, which is fine. It's not a big deal. And here's the key. The key is, and I know you guys hate this, but I don't even care who we have. It doesn't really matter, right? So what we're going to do is we are going to take the top. This is what we're going to do. I just want to sim, not save the contest. I want to just I want to sort by ROI in that particular contest. So what we can do, we're just going to download these. But we're going to download 500 of them. And I'm going to show you why in a minute. Okay, so let's save these to CSV. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna rate these ourselves. So here we go. All right. So this is the 500 lineups that we created, and here's what we have to do. First of all, we're going to sort these. We're gonna put a filter on here, and then we're gonna find the special. So this is the one. So we're gonna sort these by ROI. I think we're sorted by ROI. Yeah. So knockout special by ROI, not knockout special, UFC special, Where is this? By ROI 200K to first. So I only want the top 500 ROI. So I have them and they're listed by ROI. So, well, we could have actually done, but we could have really done is done all like 1,000 of them. So then we could take definitely the top 500 from this exact one. We already have the top 500 here. But let's do that. Just I want to show you what I'm doing here. And we can do the whole pool, really. But let's save these to CSV. And then what we're going to do is we are going to take the top 500 as candidates. Just from top 500 from that particular tournament. So let's go again to, where was it? Not triangle. UFC special. So UFC special by ROI. And then we'll just take out the bottom 500 to start off with. Okay. All right. Take out the bottom 500. And we are good. Now, next thing we're going to do is we want to manually take out ones that are projected to have less than, more than 10 dupes. Now, I'm telling you right now, they're not going to suggest any of these are going to be dupe more than 10 times, but trust me, they are. So let's sort largest to smallest. See this? I mean, there's just no chance this is the case. Okay. So that's not going to matter. Let's go back into ROI. And now here are the 500 that we're going to play with. And these are the ones that we are going to throw into the whatchamacallit, into the portfolio manager. But what I think I want to do also is actually do some geo mean filtering. And let me just see what type of geo mean I'm going to need to have 10 dupes or less. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this over here. This is kind of the calculator. Put this spreadsheet off to the side. And how many people are going to be in this contest? Let's take a look. It's going to be, what is this? 28,235. So we put in 28,235 in here. And let's say we want a maximum number of dupes 9. So you would want a geo mean of 26.1. Okay. So we just want to eyeball this and see what kind of damage it's going to do. 26.1 is not easy to get, but I think we're going to have to try it, right? We want to be under 10. So let's just see what happens if we do here. Do we have enough? I mean, like 26.1 is tough, but we can do it. You know what I mean? 26.1 is pretty good. So we have probably about 200 of these that fit that category. So let's do that. Let's do this. Let's get unique. We'll take out the ones that are too highly owned. Okay. So now we have, we have 500 good ROI lineups. We also have ones that fit the geo mean calculation. And now all I want to do is put these into the portfolio manager. I got 197 of them. And the idea is to take the top 150 of those that also hopefully have less than 10 dupes. So let's resort these. I'll show you why in a minute. We'll resort these by ROI. Okay. And let's just reduce this. So this is the order. This is what we have. And then we're going to save this. and we're going to save it in a place that we're not going to forget it. Okay, so we're going to save this into the MMA folder here. We're going to call it, I don't know, lottery 190s or something, 197, because we knew we have 198 lineups in the lottery to pick from. Okay, so now we go into Paydor Portfolio Manager, and now what we have to do is we have to put in our projections. Okay, and I think I have that already set up, but there's a couple of changes that I made, so we have to do that. So let's go template. And I should have this already pre-done, but I don't. So let's put in the player name, salary, median, ownership. Now, before I do that, though, I want to look at the changes that we made. Remember, we made a couple of changes here. And you can't really download straight from here. Who did we? Well, let's just go through them by name here. This is the easy way to do it. Let's make sure it's matching here. So Zahabi, I changed his median to 46. Grasso, I changed her to 45. Almazan still 66. Bilal still 86. Benoit still 96. Katona, I moved up to 55. Silva moved up to 58. Radke, we moved up to 50. Santos, we kept the same. Kutalabu definitely kept the same. Urslan, we may have moved up a little bit. Yeah, we moved him up. Della Maddalena, we moved him up. Jasmine, I thought was good. Lee, I thought was good. Andrade, we kept where she was. Aldo, I moved down a little bit. Kyle, we kept the same. Fioro, hold on, let's move this over. Let's see. Fioro, we kept at 75. Barrio, we kept at 65. Malott, we kept at 67. Buscas 52. Silva, 68. Navajo 77 to 72. Okay, good. Okay. And as far as ownership goes, I kept the same, I think. So we're going to save this. This is the projection template. And again, we'll save this where we can find it in case we have to lose it again. Oh, this is projection template. Okay. And then we will put it in here. So browse files, projection template, put it in there. And now we're going to download the lineups that we saved. And we have to put yes for SaberSim. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to have to put a template in here, just kind of correct for SaberSim. Unfortunately, I've done that already. So that does this. And now what we're going to do is we are going to browse these files and upload this portfolio that I just did, this lottery 198. The projection file I didn't put in yet. Sorry about this. Projection file, projection template, right? Put that over there. Now we should be all good to go. And now we hit manage portfolio. Okay. So you don't really have to select a sport. Contest size, we're pretty close. What do we say, 26,000 or something? And we will put sharp for average field strength. And then all we want to do is download this portfolio, because what this is going to do, this is going to do a better job, hopefully, projecting dupes for us. And fortunately, check this out, we're in good shape. You know, of these 198, like all of them, are less than 9 dupes. And part of that was probably because we did from that geo mean filtering that we did. Okay. So we could just go ahead and just fire in the top, the top 150 here because they were uploaded according to best, you know what I mean, best ROI, whatever. So we could just take the top 150 and just kind of go with that. So that's what we're going to do. So what we're going to do is, and again, I'm not particularly concerned with who we have here because I just do like the process that we came up with. So let's go. We're going to just copy that. And then edit. And then we are good to go for the lottery. Now, again, I'm not going to go through the big buy-in or whatever, and I certainly don't care who I have. But one thing that I'm just not sure I'm content with was the fact that I did that geo mean filtering because the geo mean thing is very it's very robotic. In other words, it takes just an ownership thing and that's it. Doesn't factor in anything else. So maybe I was a little greedy by just by doing the geo mean filter. So let's do something else. Let's do this all again, just for the hell of it. Okay. We'll re-download these 1,000 that we did before. Okay. Same process. I just want to reduce it again to the top 500. It's already there, right? Top 500. Sim dupes. Not knockout special. Oh, this one by ROI. So let's just take out the top 500. We only want the top 500. And now instead of doing the geo mean filter in addition to that, let's just put these 500 in. And we won't do the geo mean filter, and then we'll see what this looks like. So let's save these as let's call it lottery 150 or lottery 500. Okay. And then what I want to do is go back to the portfolio manager, go back into data load, and then instead we'll use this file. And let's see if even doing the geo mean thing was even necessary. Okay. So same thing, manage portfolio, sharp, and then download portfolio. Wait, let's do it again. Download portfolio. Here. So this is 500, right? So now, if I did it this way, see, it has all these crazy dupe lineups. So you did really need to, well, let's just see this way. So let's go filter and let's sort by dupes. And how many of these in total were less than 10? It looks as though about 200 of them are less than 10. So we could have just done it this way. We definitely could have just done it this way. But if we do it this way, we'd have to kind of go manually, like through this. to pick out the ones that we want. Like this one, like I want to make sure that these are by ROI or whatever. So I could just, like I said, we can sort these by, like, which is this the first? Exactly what I'm trying to say here. So like this line up here, I can just even tell this is way too duped, right? This is showing up as one of the top ROI lineups. So that's why you have to do something like this, right? So let's just say we could do this. We could just take out everything that's above 9. But then it's losing that other. Another way you could do it is delete this. So now we have everything above 9, and then we can just resort by median. You know what I mean? So now we can play all lineups that are supposed to be less than 9 times, that were part of that 500 lineup set, that also have a high median. So that can work. Or we can sort by win percentage. That's another way to do this. And win percentage actually tracks pretty closely, I guess, to check this out. Wait a minute. Why does it track exactly the same to median? No, it does not. So this is another way you could do this. But I don't know. I kind of like what I did. I only put the ones with geo mean of less than 26 even in here. I don't know I don't even know which is best at this point. But in any case, it's got to be some combination of geo mean filtering and the portfolio manager formula. And again, we started with what I thought were good 150 good ROIs anyway. So I think you really can't go wrong with either of them. Let me just see something. If I did go, if I did sort by median, this one's sorted by win percentage. And this one, if you want to use sort by lineup edge, you could do that also. But I kind of like the way I did it, and that's kind of what I'm going to stick with today. So again, I'm not saying how you're supposed to play, but I'm just kind of showing you what I'm doing. And I think that on a slate like this, I think it was worth doing that geo mean filter and just forcing in low ownership. The only thing you might get, by the way, you might end up getting like probably too much of that really cheapo. But again, that's part of the risk that you take. All right, I hope that helped in some way. And good luck, everybody.
Not at all.
Okay.